Hi everyone, Clive Adams here again for another catch-up on the Bowls Australia Facebook page, and this time it's the CEO of Bowls Australia, Neil Dalrymple, joining us. How are you, Neil?
Good, thanks, Clive. Thanks. Great to be with you.
Yeah, look, it's tricky times out there at the moment, isn't it? And a lot of hard decisions have had to be made over the last month or so.
Absolutely, Clive. No, it's. I know many bowlers out there are obviously finding it quite difficult not being able to get out on the green, and I think certainly the advice that we're providing from Bowls Australia, and in line with the advice that we're getting from other federal government agencies, is to stay away. Let's contain the virus, and obviously get the country back operating and stay healthy, and then once this time is done, then we'll be certainly back on the green, and I'm sure we're going to enjoy our bowls very much once we do get back on the green.
Yeah, so some of the decisions around some of the advice and so forth that's been coming out from Bowls Australia and the States, just give us the latest on that.
Sure, Clive. And then look, I mean, there's a lot of information that we're posting on our website at bowls.com.au. We're staying in close contact with agencies from the health department, from Sport Australia, from the AIS, and working closely with our state and territory associations, and obviously advice that they're getting through their state departments as well. And as I say, that's posted on our website. It's very clear at the moment, Clive, in terms of, no, you're not to go to the bowls club. You're not to roll up. We need to stay away. Bowls clubs are closed, and I know there's this strong interest to get back out there, and some clubs are obviously still wanting to stay open in some shape or form. But we really want to, given our demographic too, Clive, it's we're very susceptible in terms of the over 60s, and you can see just from the number of people that have contracted the virus, and obviously, unfortunately, those people that have lost their lives, they're very much in that age bracket. So I think if we as the sport can contribute to the community and heed the advice, stay away, we will get back on the green in good time.
Yeah, and there's a few people that are saying, well, bowls is my exercise. I guess our message to them is be a little bit more inventive with what you might do with your exercise. It's fine to go out and go for a walk and keep your social distancing and so forth, but there's just a few more complications with getting on the green. So keep it simple, get out there and get your exercise. We certainly encourage that, but do it via a walk or a jog or ride a bike or something along those lines.
Absolutely, and I think it's a great chance to get out and have a walk. And I mean, the advice certainly from where we are in Victoria, and the Premier of Victoria has been very clear. There's really only 4 reasons to go out, and it's to get your essential food needs. It's a medical thing. It's exercise, and it's clearly these are the areas that you just got to follow, and these are the experts. Obviously, we've got to follow the experts. It's clear. So I'm sure we'll get through it, Clive. And again, it's a challenging time for the sport, and obviously with competitions that would have been on across the country, lots of events. It's just we've obviously had to make some really some tough decisions around that.
And the Bowls Australia office at the moment, the RBMs are still well on board, looking to assist clubs through these tricky times.
We are, Clive, and look, we're working through application for JobKeeper. Most of the community would have heard about JobKeeper. There's a lot of information on our website about that, particularly for clubs who do employ people, that there is need to apply for that particular financial support. Bowls Australia have applied for it. We're optimistic that we will get it. The regional bowls managers, as you say, Clive, are a great conduit and a source of advice for clubs, and we're here to help. I think that's the message that I'd like to get out to all clubs. Certainly our state associations are working hard to connect also through different means through to the bowls community. So with Bowls Australia, the RBMs, our state associations, we are here to assist. Yes, we're financially, these are challenging times. We're looking at our budgets, our forecasts for this financial year into next financial year. We know that there'll be an impact on our revenue. So in terms of our staffing, we're certainly looking around potentially some time that we'll have to reduce our hours for the employment of our staff. So there will be an impact. We know that that's happening right through the community, right through a lot of businesses. So we're not immune to that. But let's be frank, we need to work through it, and we want to provide as much support to our bowls community as possible.
All right, moving on to some other items, of course, the World Championships and the Australian Open. Well, we were meant to be in the exciting times leading up to them, but unfortunately not, but something to look forward to next year, perhaps.
Yeah, I was just looking at the weather in Queensland yesterday, and I thought to myself, yeah, we're not far off, and the forecast looks pretty good up in Queensland at the moment. And yeah, May, June was the time, Clive, and obviously the Australian Open in June, but we've postponed the World Champs obviously to about the same time in 2021. The Australian Open, we unfortunately just have to miss this year's Australian Open. We'll be back bigger and better in 2021 on the Gold Coast. And look, yeah, hopefully with international travel restrictions, hopefully will be lifted, come, I think we're expecting perhaps towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's probably the only concern at the moment, that hopefully all the countries are actually going to be able to come to the World Championships next year. But yeah, look, if we can get it off the ground, we're going to make it a very special event. And obviously leading into Birmingham 2022, that's not that far away now either. So the Commonwealth Games. So in terms of preparations, what a great event it'll be next year in May, June of 2021.
The return of the Bowl Show, Neil, of course, came back on the TV last weekend, and
Yep.
great to have some bowls back on the TV.
No, it was great, Clive, and I know that a lot of the viewers like to see more action, but look, I think what we've been able to do at Bowls Australia is provide lots of games in their entirety on our Facebook platform, and there's more games going to be posted in the weeks to come. In fact, is it Flashback Friday? That's today,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
So every Friday there'll be games posted, and we will give the bowls community plenty of content, plenty of games to watch from start to finish, because we know that's the feedback that we want, that the bowlers want to see more games. In terms of the bowl show, look, it's as you can see, it's a short period of time in terms of the amount of time that we're on the air. So we've got to pack a lot into that particular show. There's obviously commercials. There's a commercial element to the bowl show, which is really about trying to keep our sponsors involved with the sport. And at the moment, there isn't a lot of content out there for them. So being creative, using the bowl show as a mechanism to provide sponsors with some exposure, keep them involved with the sport. That's what people are telling us, keep those sponsors for the long term. So I think we just, some people mightn't like it because of the overtly commercial nature to it, but I think it's quite entertaining. Jack Heverin does a great job with our bowl show, and with Matty Flapper on board now, and I know you featured last week, Clive, and of course Steve Glasson's he also gets to feature a fair bit. But and it was a great first up show, and we're looking forward to another 9 weeks of those episodes on 7/2, also on Fox Sports and on KO. So we hope that people will be able to tune in and keep supporting that particular initiative.
And just to expand on that Facebook coverage, the Bowls Australia Facebook page, if you head there and head to the videos section, you can go back for all of the videos that have been covered on Rinkside Live and so forth, way back, even back to the 2018 Australian Open, when we probably started the more elaborate coverage that we've got now. And you can watch a lot of those events almost in their entirety. So, yeah, we encourage you to get on there. That's the Bowls Australia Facebook page. Go to the video section, and it's all sorted for you. You can watch any event you like. So,
fantastic.
And Neil, just the national survey that's being planned for clubs to try and get us a better picture of what's going on out there in clubland at the moment.
For sure, and we know that clubs all across the country will be struggling. I've actually had some conversations with bowls countries overseas insofar as what's happening in their part of the world, particularly in Scotland, in Canada, New Zealand, England, Wales. So at the moment, there is no bowls whatsoever in the UK, of course, and they're coming into their summer season. So clubs are going to be doing it hard across the world, and definitely in Australia. And so Bowls Australia, in terms of understanding what the issues are, we're about to distribute a national club survey, and we really hope that all the clubs will be able to support that. We know in South Australia already they've undertaken a survey, which has been fantastic, and we'll get the outcomes and the details that will come out of that survey and the information that comes from that, we'll get copies of that through Bowls South Australia. So we won't be sending this survey to the South Australian clubs, but the rest of the country will get the survey. And I suppose we're really keen to understand the impact of this COVID-19 on Bowls clubs from a personnel point of view, obviously a financial perspective, and probably looking, even if it's possible, to project what the impact's going to be. And I think what this will do, Clive, is inform us as Bowls Australia around what our response plan will look like. And it's important to get the evidence to support whatever we're planning to do to help clubs come out of it. I think it's fair to say, though, that there's a commitment from Bowls Australia that we are here to help, and that we will help with the RBMs, we'll help with resources and programs to help clubs get back out on the green. And potentially from a financial point of view, we will do what we can from a financial perspective, whether it be grants, whether it be financial support around membership, financial relief. I know some state associations have started to consider that. It's got to be all part of our plan to go forward. And again, doing the survey will help us to understand and guide us into helping us develop that particular plan. But it's very much of our new strategic plan, Clive, that we've just launched, which we've updated for 2020 to 2022. We have a strategic project in there, which is the COVID-19 response plan. We're putting that together. We're gathering it. We're going to be using all of the expertise we've got at Bowls Australia around our staff and our board. And what I'm really looking forward to is how we can relaunch the sport in whenever that might be. Hopefully it's in October. Hopefully, with better luck, it might be earlier. But in that period of time, we will be making every concerted effort to help clubs get back on their feet. And we want to be ahead of the game and make sure that Bowls is well in front of our competitors, and that we get more people out on the green.
Yeah, and I think the planning aspect that you touched on, Neil, there is important. So whilst Bowls Australia will be doing that, we certainly encourage clubs to be doing the same thing.
Yep.
The downtime that you have now is a real opportunity, in a sense, to be able to take care of some of those things that you don't always have time to do when you're running your club and so forth, and to then start to really sit back and use the RBMs and so forth to say, well, what can we plan for the future, knowing that it needs to be flexible because we don't necessarily know when we're coming out of this, but those plans are going to be crucial. It
is such a unique time, isn't it, really? I mean, it's unprecedented. It really hasn't. It's still a bit of a blur in some respects, but I think if we sit back and take a look at what we're currently experiencing, and look at the opportunities and how we can. I mean, this has been a good chance for me to look at a range of different planning documents, obviously our strategic plan, but really take a good, thorough forensic look at the sport to say, right, how can we make this sport better in Australia now, and how can we come out of this with some sort of positivity? So, and I think there is some positives to be gained out of this, and hopefully we will do very well when we do come out of it.
All right, Neil, what's your final message out there to everyone that, some people are doing it tough. What's the final message, mate?
Look, I think for me, it's staying connected. I mean, I've felt certainly a connection with all the staff, and we've, Bowls Australia staff having regular meetings, staff meetings, and even having the virtual drinks has been really important. Keeping in contact with your fellow members, I suppose, when it comes to a Bowls club. Looking from a committee point of view, being able to take a good look at the club and the way that your club operates is a fantastic opportunity. But I suppose ultimately, Clive, it's about being healthy and looking after yourself, and keeping connected with your families, and getting and exercising and making the most of some of these opportunities that, as I said before, is unprecedented. And really look at your health, the well-being, and keep active, and really look forward to the time when we can get back out there to play the sport that we all love. And I know with events coming up and Bowls Australia, these international events, and hoping we can, we as an organisation, hopefully we'll be able to provide a lot of great content over this period, as we've already done, and keep people happy.
All right, completely agree, mate. Let's hope that we can get back out on those greens safely very soon. That was Neil Dalrymple, the CEO, of course, of Bowls Australia. We thank you for your time, Neil.
Good on you, Clive. Thanks for all the work you do too. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.